Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Swemp Electronics Football Alliance Division 1. And we have a special feast of football tonight. In fact, there's a lot of games going on over the next week in Swempland. There may even be 2 cup rounds over the next few days, because Division 2 have their cup tomorrow night, straight after Super League. And Division 1, I believe, have a cup game coming up very soon. Maybe. Let's have a quick look. Is it going to happen? I'm just clicking on all over the random things. This is a good start, isn't it, for me today? Where am I going? The Division 1, Premier Division. No, it'll be next week, which is quite nice. Anyway, the league table here shows Dalgety Rangers are 5 points clear of Really, with Steelhawks 2 points further back. Then Trumpton 2 points further back, level on points with North Trafford. Loco Calaveras, Aston Ajax and Team GB on 21, just 2 behind that. Roundhay 18, Falaraki 15 and 14 points leads us to our co-commentator for tonight, Mr. Martin Peterson. Good afternoon, good evening even.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be back on Champman commentating duties in some form or another. So we're looking forward to my commentating debut in the Swemp League, even if my managerial debut was a couple of weeks ago. But it's exciting to be involved again.
It's been a very successful start to your managerial reign. Let's have a look at those fixtures results wise. I mean, since you've come in after the team lost to Allenson, which I suppose is not tremendous, you've come in and had 3 wins and a draw.
Yeah, and to be fair, probably should have been 4, the way that the chances were going in the last game against the Steel Hawks. A bit of a champing there. I mean, fortunately they didn't score in the one shot they had on target. Otherwise, I think I would have just chucked it straight away. But no, happy enough with the result. I was a bit surprised to see the average ratings of the players, considering how well we've done in terms of chances and limiting their efforts. But yeah, I'll. A point away from home against Steel Hawks, which are one of the top teams. I mean, it's not the worst, is it?
No, absolutely not. It's a very good result in Steel Hawks, as we saw there, 25 points chasing down Really in the battle for second. Whether Dalgety have got it sewn up already, I'm not entirely sure, but they are doing a very good job. The bottom 3, Allenson, are closing up to the rest of the league, but I don't know, are they closing up, or is it just that Falaraki are starting to close that gap and Allenson aren't too far behind? And Tyneside won last game to move ahead of Imaginary Madrid at the bottom of the table, and there are 2 commentators. I've got everything wrong tonight. This is a wonderful start. Our 2 first people in the chat, in fact our first 3 people in the chat, are the bottom 3 in the table. We've got Chris Thacker there, bottom of the table. We've got Dan Hazard there, second bottom, and Big Noopy in third bottom. So evening all. So in fact, I mean, I'm not in this division, so we've got the bottom 4 involved, and that's great to see that the commitment is there wherever you are in the table. This is quite a momentous round because it's the first time in a while we've got all the teams in on time, and I haven't had to do any kind of messing around with it. So that's great. And look who's in next. Honestly, look who's in next. Champinho's in, and he's 5th bottom. So this is. I mean, I'm waiting for Jim to turn up next, but we should be getting Alf on at some point. Fixtures for today. So looking at that, we've got Falaraki versus Allenson, which is a huge game down there at the bottom. Imaginary Madrid versus the Old Age Ballers. Do you like your team name?
Not particularly, no.
Good.
But
yes, I classed it as the worst team name that we've ever had.
I mean, I can't really comment because, I mean, although I do hold a British passport, I can't really claim to be British. But the thing about putting a "said" in words where "sets" don't belong is kind of like, I don't really get it.
It's wrong.
I don't see the attraction.
It's extremely wrong. That's I did almost think, how can I not put that name in? But I thought I'd better do it. Mr. Savage is here. Good evening, Mr. Savage. He's in the extremely tight battle at the top of Division 2, which we were just talking about before the show as well, which is keeping both divisions very interesting at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially the other division, very very tight for spots there. You mentioned yourself, you won and didn't progress, still stuck in fifth, but I mean, at least closing the gap, and with the top eight playing each other in the next round, then there should definitely be some movement,
There's
unless
got
it's
to
all
be.
draws, obviously. But
Alf's here as well. Good evening, Alf. He's got a match up against a new manager tonight with the addition of Ryan to replace Wolfie. So yeah, I think that'll be an extremely interesting one. I am putting that game on a bit later. Ryan's expecting to be on, but he's not going to be on straight away. Trumpton versus Steelhawks is a massive game up near the top, and Tyneside, as if their season hasn't been hard enough, face Dalgety Rangers in the final match on our list there. So let's just check who's top scorers at the moment. Of course, it's the division with Nikiforenko, top of the league goal scorers, and Van Nistelrooy just behind your top scorer. I know you haven't been in charge for very long, but your top scorer there, Batistuta, of course, unavailable tonight. So let's see where it leads us to. We also have some random Champions League games, including Kilmarnock in the Champions League. So now, is this FC Cernot B? Are they actually a B team, or is it just a
no, I
B?
think it's an abbreviation,
Yeah,
surely,
so I
of
wondered
something.
whether there was an FC Cernot already. They won't be in this one. They won't be. Where is it? Oh, fourth in the goal scorers, maybe. Yeah, scoring goals. Yeah, they can't. It can't be a Sinop B entering ahead of all these other Czech teams. Anyway, it takes us to Falaraki versus Allenson first, and I think that'll be a great place to start tonight. Two teams down at the bottom, fighting for their lives in a division where, of course, this season is the final one of the Swemp, so no one will go down. But you don't want to finish that bottom three, do you? And Allenson with Nesta out of the team for today, and the other player who's been replaced in the team was D'Alessandro. We see Alex and Alexandre coming into the team.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that one of the things that I found really interesting about the Swamp League is the unfamiliarity of some of the players and some of the names that are
Brilliant,
on
that's what
here.
we
I
like.
mean, Alexander Sickler is someone that I mean, being my age, is someone I was familiar with because he was around playing at the time. Yeah, he was kind of hanging around by and getting the odd game here and there.
Yes.
But I've never actually seen anyone being dedicated enough to utilize him in the in Chapman. But yeah, good to see him getting a game. Alex is there, obviously a little bit more of a famous player. Jakob Laursen, got to give respect to actually including Danish people
How
in the
does it
squad as
feel
well.
to have him as Norwegian on this then?
Oh, that's it doesn't matter. I mean, I still consider them the colonies, whether they
Yeah.
realize it or not. Norway and Sweden, I'm not that fussed. They'll be joined. We'll be re-establishing the union one day. We're just waiting for the right moment for that. But yeah, no, interesting. I mean, it's a surprisingly standard tactic on display here, but interesting to see how it goes. I mean, it's a solid enough lineup, but I can see why they might struggle to be higher in the table.
Yes, and of course it's a superb concept from Mr. Andrew Allen himself, picking the players based on his sons of Alex and Jacob. So 12 players based on each of those names. So a great concept that we've had this season. Falareki 96ers, so England's Euro 96 squad with a few extras thrown in. And then my mistake of pressing auto on the squad numbers when they had squad numbers in Euro 96. For today, the only change to their team is that Paul Ince is on the bench instead of Dennis Wise.
Yeah, I mean, I quite like the setup here. It's a little bit more attacking. Had some strange luck myself with a similar sort of a back three DC line. I think that's always something that's kind of not frowned upon, but not really thought of very highly, to play those three across the middle. It seems you always have problems getting the center. In this case, Southgate, to get like decent ratings or do something decent. But if you actually look at the performance of the team and the amount of goals that you concede, I think if you can see past it, the whole average thing. But there are managers who will refuse to substitute players even though they're dying, because they want them to see if they can get them a 10, or they will never sub someone like their favorite player. If their favorite player is on a 6 or 7, they won't sub them even if they're dying, and they hope
Just
they'll
in
get a
case it
goal
can
and,
go
and
up.
come up to
Yeah,
an 8 and all this. Yeah, so
yeah.
I guess if you're that way inclined, then you need to consider that. But yeah, no, a decent lineup and another good concept team as well with players of that generation. Obviously, very familiar to someone like myself.
Yeah, and Phil Neville playing defensive mid in the middle there. It's a role that, on the game he's not supposed to be able to play very well, but he's doing a decent job, to be honest.
Yeah, it's something I'd like probably refer to someone like Alf, who loves going into it to having a look at the how the players are able to perform in let's say not their preferred or their indicated positions. I know there are people who swear by selecting midfielder or attacker to see whether the forward centers are able to do a job in midfield and all this as well. So there's some theory around that, but I wouldn't play Phil. Well, I wouldn't play Phil Neville either at DMC, to be honest. But if he's putting in the numbers and he's doing a job for his manager, then obviously he's been awarded with reselection. When he does have Paul Ince, who would probably be a more natural in that particular role.
Yeah, Ince's season's been pretty good, but I think, has he just come back from suspension maybe with his 3 yellows, or was it an injury? I'll just check. Uh, Injuries were 3 weeks out recently. A ban for 3 yellows. No, I think he was just out of favour after the cup game, to be honest. So yeah, he's playing well.
Right.
And David Batty also being quite solid at the moment. There's a lot of depth in that position, to be honest, with Dennis Wise as 4th choice. Although I'd keep him as 4th choice, I think. Prediction for this one?
Oh, tricky. I mean, I'm gonna have to go with the England side of '96. I think they'll just about do enough to squeeze past Allenson. Although I do, in a recent save, have had problems overcoming that particular formation. So perhaps just a narrow victory for the home side.
And narrow, and Dan Hazard's going 2-1, and Chris Thacker's going 2-1 the other way. So for Allenson to get a victory. Yep, and remember, to managers, you can make your sub any time during the second half. Just name your minute at half time, and I will sort that out for you. The current play so far, it's a little bit end to end without the shots, but Shearer's come in and scored the opening one for Falaraki, putting them in front early on. Sheringham going for it, and good saves there from the goalkeepers. Those teams. Scott, good evening. Sinnock B is their reserve team in the 3rd division.
It's a reserve team.
So there is FC. So Shearer's scored a 2nd goal. Alf coming up with this stats.
Unstoppable.
Shearer is unstoppable in this one, certainly. And despite the fact the goalkeeper's tried his best and Holovko and Alexandre playing well, it's definitely going the way of Falaraki. Big Noopy's already said it's going to be 60 minutes for him for the subs. Champinio, we will find out from him, and let's take a look here. Yeah, it's it's certainly going the way of the home team.
Yeah, they're fairly one-sided. I don't know, what is it we normally look at? Throw-ins. Well, that's 7 apiece, so at least they've got that going for the Allenson.
Throw-ins after the whole Leadersford debacle with no shots, no corners, and no throw-ins in one match.
Yeah, that's a rough one. Yeah, so perfect start for Falaraki. Can't really complain much, can they? Shearer's still on 92 fitness, so he's not done much else apart from putting the ball in the back of the net and losing a bunch of headers. But jumped aimlessly.
Every header he's won, it's been key, but he's lost 10. Tony Adams has done nothing in defence. He's won a few headers, but not had to put a tackle in.
Yeah, well, it's been a quiet morning. I was going to say it's been a quiet first half for Falaraki. Apart from the chances, not much threat from the Allenson side. It'll be interesting to see what the manager does, if anything.
Yes, Champinio might well roll it to 60 minutes. I don't know if he's wanting to make any subs at half time. I know he chooses 60 minutes generally, but if you want to change your mind, please. And for Allenson, yeah, it's not going particularly well. Alex is having a bit of a stinker. Smerteen's down there similarly, but the two of those defence, two of that back line doing okay with Holovko and Alexandre.
Yeah, I think the challenge that you have when you create a concept team is that you're obviously going to you're not going to look so much at who's going to be your best backup. You're going to look for someone who fits the model, and that maybe limits you in terms of like the backups that you're able to put on. Because if you're looking at someone like Smerton, who are you going to put up in? Is there
I mean,
anyone who's like
Yule's not too
literally
bad,
just?
but he's more of an attacking player, I would say, to be
I was
honest.
going to say, yeah.
And they have had another player available, but Glerup Nielsen is not in the squad for today's game, so yeah, he's
Mm.
a bit of a miss, to be honest. I'm not sure whether Big Noopy's going to be making any subs at this point. Chris Thacker saying that Allenson FC, everyone's second team. I think there's a lot of enjoyment from this squad, that they've got more points than maybe we expected at this time in season.
Yeah, perhaps, but it doesn't look as if they're going to be adding to that tally today, unfortunately for them. I mean, there's still all to play for in the second half. I mean, Shearer could run out of steam, I guess, but it's a big task for them to turn this one around, I think.
Yeah, not wrong. And I think both teams are going to 60 minutes, so we'll just take it through to that bit. And I think at this point it's just if Allenson can get one in the next 5-10 minutes, it might make it interesting. But otherwise, Falaraki will have this sewn up. Allenson need to shoot to cause problems, I guess. So go for a third, and Shearer gets the hat trick
Oof,
just before the
that's Shearer
substitute.
just on the hour mark, isn't it?
You mean Smerteen a run up, but he's been dreadful. I'm surprised by Smerteen playing so badly, to be honest. Sheringham's down at 82%, and he has a potential foot injury. And Gascoigne's Gascoigne's holding out well to be on 85%. So a reminder to teams that you do have a game at the weekend on this. So I think the next match is 4 or 5 days away. It's no, in fact it's 3 days away, isn't it? It's the 31st of July today, and the next match is on the 3rd of August. So the matches are just 3 days away for substitutes tonight. So think about those. Falaraki,
Yeah.
when your worst players on a 7, it's all going all right.
All going all right, isn't it? Yeah,
Hmm.
and again, interesting to see that I'm a big fan of just pulling people at halftime. I normally don't bother waiting for the hour mark, certainly on my own saves. But yeah, let's see if any of the managers come up with any changes here. I
We've
can
got
see.
one going on for Championship so far. There may be another one, but maybe not because they're doing so well. Redknapp for Gaza as well is going to happen, I think. And we see 3 subs for Allenson coming on, which will always be good. If Champino is making a 3rd sub, that is absolutely fine. We'll go over to Allenson, make these changes. Condition-wise, they're actually surviving. Yule for Smerteen. He's on a 5 again. And what are the other ones? Aguinaga for Alex. And Jakob Borg for Zickler. So a Faroese international there coming on. So does he feel part Danish to you, or is there a do the Danish like the Faroese?
I think we've. I'm not saying that we pretend they don't exist, but they don't get much of a mention. I mean, I don't know if they changed the curriculum, but certainly when I was in school, I think when you're about 11 or 12, you have to like learn to read like some of the recognize the Faroese and Icelandic letters. So I believe they have some special characters and read a poem or something like that. But that's the extent of my exposure to Faroese language and culture.
Lovely, and I suppose there's some accents on some of the letters, aren't there, in Faroese? But then they also take some of the those Icelandic characters like the and and all those sounds, whatever. But yeah, I do like the Faroe Islands from Sensible World of Soccer. That's where I got my enjoyment of HB Torshavn. So nothing's gone on in the game in the last 15 minutes, which is why I could just talk random things there. Yeah, big fan of Icelandic music, and I remember learning about the Faroe Islands a little bit in geography when we talked about the culture of whale hunting and things
Yeah.
like that. So
Not far from Scotland. I didn't even
no,
like think
it's
about it, but it's very, very, very
is it
close.
from the very
Very,
northern
very
point of
close.
Scotland? It must only be about 500 miles.
Even possibly even closer. Well,
Ooh.
to Shetland and Orkney and all that.
Yes,
Either way,
yeah.
I haven't had the map out recently, but yes, indeed. Well, it was good that we had a bit of a separate topic of conversation. We can maybe
Because
elaborate on
nothing.
Icelandic music in the next game if that
Oh
goes
yes,
to that level of entertainment as well.
some Ciaros, that'll do me. Get some of those on, and Björk, and who else? Icelandic do I like? There's another one as well that I like. I can't remember what they're called now. The
Oh, what were they? They had a couple of hits. Sigur Rós had a
Yes, yeah.
couple of
They
hits a few
they
ago, a
are
few
they are
years ago. One
they
of
are
them.
pronounced from listening to them. They're pronounced Ciaros in that way. So that's how I have to learn how to pronounce them because I've been listening to them
Aha.
speaking about themselves. Anyway, Allinson had loads of shots. Didn't hit the
Yeah, I
target.
mean, I was gonna say at least they tried in the second half, but yeah, not really. After the third goal, if you get a third goal in an hour, what are you going to do for the last half hour? I mean, maybe the players were talking about Icelandic music as well, but the slightly better performance from the subs that came on there for Allinson, and no surprise in Shearer getting the man of the match.
19 jumps, 8-1. Tony Adams showing him how to do it properly, but Shearer, 3 goals, all his shots on target, a solid man of the match performance. Mr. Sanford is here. Good evening, Dickon. Good evening. Dan Hazard's a big fan of Ciaros as well, which is brilliant. The dentist chair, yes, the dentist chair, named after, of course, the celebration and the whole drunken antics there of the England Euro '96 squad. Al saying Iceland to Scotland, 809 miles. There's an Iceland only down the road from me as well, which is great. But yeah, Faroe Islands, about halfway in between, isn't it?
Quite possibly. To be honest, it's not really it's not really my forte to locate our previous colonies. I mean, I can locate it on a map. Obviously, I don't think I would confuse them with anyone.
No.
And having never been and never shown any real interest in visiting either, then I'm not entirely sure.
Another 8 for Phil Neville there in defensive mid, and we'll go over now to Asna's Ajax, who they've got a good team. Obviously, a team where a lot of these players have won the Champions League, and certainly players who've gone on and done great things at other places.
Yeah, great site that recently reading very interesting Michael Cox's Zonal Tactics, quite an interesting a book on football tactics, up some sort of tracking the changes out of the modern game, not going back to like the 30s, 40s and all that, but in the modern game. And there's a fair bit about the Ajax side and Louis van Gaal and the different sort of managerial setups they've had over the years, and certainly the team in the 90s with a bunch of these players in there, very, very talented and also very successful side, and not surprised to see them chosen as a concept here, because quite enjoyable actually to have players like that at your disposal.
Yeah,
I
they
mean, they
are
were
a
probably
very
at the
good team
end
to
of their
watch.
sort of like heyday in 2001, 2002,
Yes, yeah.
but plenty of familiar names in there.
Yeah, I mean, striker-wise, they're struggling to find a partnership that works. Kluivert's been getting goals. Kanu, yes, he's got goals as well, but they haven't necessarily performed too well together. Even Bakajolu's been playing up front a little bit, and he's he's been doing well in the cup. He's certainly been a performer to do that. I wouldn't usually play him up front, but he went on once and did a classic job, and he's still been doing well. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, no league goals yet. They also have Mido, he's playing behind them, and he's just getting started, so plenty of attacking talent. Of course, the late Abubakar Yakubu as well, he's doing well this season for them. And yeah, Van der Meijden out wide, probably playing his best run of the season at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's a very good player. I think he had a very, very brief stint of success as a wing back in the Super League, perhaps for Churchtown or someone like
Mm.
that. But yeah, that a decent player, and I think a bit of a tragic story in real life. I think was he at
Yes,
Everton or
he was
something
at
like that,
Everton,
and
yeah, and
it
he
all
played
went a
well
little
for a
bit.
while, yeah. Uh,
Yeah, and it all went a little bit cocaine at a certain point, and then yeah, that was it pretty much, I think.
yeah, I don't think really that a career's got much after the whole cocaine, has it? Just gotta check this message. Oh, that's absolutely fine. Um, just checking. Mrs. Wife just with a little request. It's all okay. The Iceland in Penzance to Scotland is further. Iceland in Penzance. That's interesting. Yes, oh, of course, Iceland's shop in Penzance, not the Penzance in Iceland, which is what I was starting to go by. Anyway, Alf's geography lesson is confusing me now, but it's superb. And Dan Hazard, I've seen this on the chat for a little while. His Shearer is going to score a hat trick tonight in the shock of the season. Really have gone very strong tonight with that midfield there of Veron, Beckham, and Man awaiting trial in court. Yeah, we've got Vieira and Kuhl in midfield as well. But that back three, it seems to kind of work, but it does still confuse me.
Yeah, I think there's all sort of ongoing discussions, or there certainly were at a certain point in time, what the actual arrows do when they're active, when they're not active, whether it's backwards arrows when you don't have the ball and all this. And I mean, it's unusual to see two wing backs. I think it's a little bit to accommodate the requirements of having players in wide positions, isn't it? That they're placed like that. I think if that requirement hadn't been there, they would just be DCs from the beginning. But it's fine. And I mean, with the sort of variety of attacking formations on display, you're not up against the standard two-striker strike force every week, so it kind of makes sense to try it. And the players are good enough, very versatile, very skilled players, both in real life, well, definitely in the game, and to some extent as well in real life, depending on how you rate Mr. Ehiok and Mr. Southgate.
I do rate Ehiok very highly. Player that's one player for each team who is no longer with us tonight in this one. And Gareth Southgate, early first couple of seasons, I think is a very good player as well. Just a point on the arrows.
Both at Middlesbrough as well. Is
they
that
were
my
both
imagination,
at Middlesbrough,
or were they
both Aston
both
Villa,
maybe not at the
both
same
at
time,
Middlesbrough.
but they...
Yeah, I think they might have been, to be honest. In fact, they are both at Middlesbrough on this game, aren't they?
Oh, in the game?
On 0102.
I don't know. I mean, I can't say I've ever managed Middlesbrough.
97-98, I loved managing Middlesbrough because they were in Division 1. And I really enjoyed managing them at that point. But yeah, so these runs, when they have the ball, they'll tuck into a back three. When they don't have the ball and they're being attacked, they'll push back out to full back. So kind of counterintuitive, but at the same time, I'm not one to criticise tactics when this team is second in the league.
No, true. No, you wouldn't.
And Neil Somerville, he's keeping up his decent scoring record as well, and long may that continue for him. Although Mr. Square won't be wanting Aston Ajax to be on the receiving end of that. Who's going to win?
I mean, it's difficult. I don't know. Looking at the squads, I would think the Ajax side would be slightly the stronger, but I'm not sure. I'm a huge fan of their tactical setup, so I'm going to go with another narrow win for the home side.
Another narrow win for the home side. Last time you predicted a narrow win for the home side.
They won 3-0.
They won 3-0. Here we are.
Neil Somerville hat trick incoming. You heard it here first.
And yeah, it's 0-0 so far. The chances. Oh, Veron had a chance, and I think he might have hit the post. But Patrick Kluivert is coming off, and with Ibrahimovic on the bench as a striker, I think it will be going to him. But we will just see if Mr. Square is lurking in the chat, and then in a few seconds we'll bring on the legend. How old is he now? Is he 40?
Yeah, he's got to be 40 now, hasn't he, Zlatan? You would think so. Still playing. I think he was
he played
very
for Milan,
verbal about their... I think they had a controversial defeat at the weekend. I think they had a goal. Milan had a goal ruled out with like 4 minutes into injury time, and then whoever they were playing, Brescia, Sassuolo or somewhere, I don't know. It was not a good side. They went down the other end and scored, and he had a lot to say about that.
So was that on Monday? Because they had a chance to close it back up, didn't they? So they didn't close in on Inter. I didn't realise that had happened. I missed the result, to be honest. I only saw Celtic's result on Monday night. I think with most of the stuff that was going on. Zlatan's coming on, and we'll see how this goes for Arsenal, who are obviously missing a player that is worth a goal or two in quite a few games. It seems like he's, I don't know. Last time I said it looked pretty even. The goal was scored, so I don't want to curse it too soon for one of the teams. But we're playing half an hour in, and there's Zlatan
Oh, the
Ibrahimovic coming
substitute.
off the bench and taking the lead for Asna's Ajax, which, I mean, league table-wise, it would be a bit of a shock, but the quality of the team suggests that Asna, he could be pushing further up this table in this second half of the season. Yeah, the only shot on target has gone in, which is looking alright. 9 throw-ins, wonderful.
9 throw-ins, yeah, exactly. I mean, a little bit disappointing for Christopher Kirkland there, but unsurprising, I guess. I'm not sure why he's included. Is there a story why Christopher Kirkland is included as a special?
So this team
reason for
originally was entirely Premier League based. In the first season they were all Premier League based, and then I think there were a few changes made. So we saw Alan Masoudi come in, not Masoudi Ekakanga, but Masoudi, who obviously is the same person anyway. Somerville came in, and a couple of others I think came into the squad, but Adolfo is in there, and
right.
Yeah, but it was Premier League, so Kirkland, Bosnich, and Richard Wright are the 3 goalkeepers in this squad. They'll be making no subs at half time. And Asna, without Mr. Squaring, won't be making any subs at half time, but may well do on the hour mark, which is where I'll go with both teams and see if they need to do that. Any signs? I mean, I don't think either team stood out in this first half.
No, I don't think there's anything really sort of noteworthy other than obviously the injury and the 61 fitness out condition I can see there. So probably not too serious, but yeah, Zlatan obviously came on and did a good job, and be interesting to see if he can deliver. When you said they'd struggle to find a goal scorer, sometimes that happens. Yeah, you're forced into making a substitution or making a change, and then someone else comes in and takes that chance. And Zlatan obviously with an 8 at half time after only having played half an hour it's a good start for him. But let's see what happens in the first 15 of the second, and if any of the managers are via their instructions are forced into action.
Yes, I think there will be. Certainly, we look towards substitutes for really. Certainly, I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 that's happening at 60 minutes, but Matt always sends his plans in for me. I don't think he can make quite a few of the streams. He's got busy life, busy things for him, but certainly substitutes, he's always ready with those. So I'll go on to my messages, have a little look at this and see what we've got, but we will check conditions, see if anyone is really suffering. They're not. Where is Matt's? I think it was quite a few days ago. There we are. So he's got Viduka for Somerville or Van Nistelrooy. Whoever's playing worse, they're both on 7s, or less fit one there would be Somerville, wouldn't it? So take him off and bring on Viduka, and then we got Bowyer for Veron or Beckham with exactly the same conditions. So Veron and Beckham, 6 for Beckham, 7 for Veron. So that was Bowyer coming on there, wasn't it? So they make their double change. For Arsenal, do they need to make a change? Well, they're not playing particularly well. Kanu at 84, just to see. Yeah, he's got potential knee injury. Overmars at 84, thigh injury. The game's in 3 days. You see, this is where the concern is if we don't take these players off. So, I mean, would you be making a treble or just a double? Would you make it a double or just one change at this point?
I'd personally not make any. I mean, I don't believe in the potential injuries. I just leave them out there, and then if they get injured, they get injured. So, but it depending on the manager's sort of history and what he's done in the past, maybe that's something to be taken into
it's
consideration.
with that game in 3 days' time that's the kind of. I mean, Zlatan's the guy that's coming off here. If anything, he's come on. He's gone down to 78, but he's playing well. So let's leave him on, and if we take off. Is there a ready-made replacement there for anybody? Let's do Kanu off for Bakajolu at this point. He's been coming on up front quite a few times this season.
All right, okay.
And let's do that. Which I'd never really play him up front, but then I saw him playing well in the Cup, and I thought that's somewhere I might give him a little go in, a little experiment at some point. He's a player who signed many years ago, and then never signed for a long time, and he's sort of coming back into my thoughts again.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever really thought about him. I think that was a goal.
Viduka
Mark Viduka,
has
the
equalised.
sub making the difference for
Oh,
real.
the other
And Lee
sub.
Boy, what inspire substitutions by the manager. Pays off, doesn't it?
I'm back in charge of all the subs.
Oh, right. Well, that turned out. And Dan is spot on with his 2-2 prediction. I think all the goals came in the last five. Should have a look at the overview, actually, to see what minute those goals came in.
85
All the goals in
plus.
the last 5 minutes, indeed. I was just about to make some kind of observation about how Kennedy, I think it was in his final game, scored a free kick and grabbed a beer that was thrown at him from a supporter or something like that. But that's an anecdote for another day. Then
Is that when
what
he
the
was back
dramatic
at
finish.
Hammerby again?
Yeah, yeah.
Because he obviously went back into Sweden again, and did he carry on? He carried on for a long time, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, talent and well-liked player. Dramatic finish in the Leicester Spurs game apparently as well. Not as dramatic as this, I'm sure, but
Yeah, this is more dramatic. Come on, we've had the substitutes all scoring. That's probably a first, to be honest, that the goals have all.
I stand corrected. A brace by Bergwijn in the 96th and 97th minute
Oh,
apparently.
right.
So
Yeah.
maybe a little bit more excited. Bergwijn. I have
Yeah,
my
I don't
Dutch
know if it's
pronunciation.
I don't know if it's a Bergwijn or a Bergwijn. What I'll do is there is actually a child who's half Dutch in my class, and I will find that out to work it out. Yeah, he's turned that game around. Incredible finish there. And actually just looking at the other score. Oh, Elanga scoring there. Wonderful. Yeah, what a finish to that game. Superb. We can hold that game off just in case Ryan comes soon. Trumpton versus Steelhawks, that would be a big game. But Big Kid said he might get on later. Actually, haven't thought about that. Where are we going? Tyneside Doggetty Rangers. Dan's here, so let's play that game. And he's got an interesting setup for this one. But when you look at how it played last game, they beat Asner, so it's worth playing.
Yeah, I mean that's a long arrow on Kieran Dyer, especially if there's only 3 days until the next game. There could be some fitness issues coming into play there. I will say that Kieran Dyer is, I mean, the way I play, I normally don't end up playing with a bunch of these, because by the time I'm at a big enough club or have enough money to sign them, they're
They've
dead and gone. But I did have my Celtic Samba save where it got Chano Samba to 1,000 goals for Celtic, and they probably had about 200 assists off Kieran Dyer on that wing back. So yeah, I like him out there. I like seeing him play out there. I think he's one of the strongest players in that position. With such a long arrow, though, the stamina could be an issue, but
it's a good run of form.
We'll see. I mean, good form he's in.
Let's see if he can do it. But yeah, he might not be able to play next game. Is that a request, Dan, in the chat there? I'm not sure I want to, but yeah, get Shearer's
He does
hat-trick.
he does have Warren Barton as a suitable replacement though out on the on the right hand side. I mean, he's getting on a little bit. That's someone I remember from early Panini sticker albums with his nice hair. He's from Maidstone, if I'm not much mistaken. Yeah. Warren Barton, yeah.
And would you?
I was on a school trip. My first trip to the UK was in 1994. We went to Maidstone on a school trip, like an exchange thing or something. Had a day out in London. We went to see Spurs and everything. Very nice. And since then, I've had a soft spot for Warren Barton. When I remembered on the Panini sticker, it said place of birth and it said Maidstone on the bottom, and I was like, I've been there.
Was that a Wimbledon sticker or a Newcastle one?
I must have been a Newcastle one.
What a player! Yeah, I remember him being reasonably successful at Wimbledon. I'm sure his hair was even lighter when he played for them before he moved up north. Remember, he had very very light eyebrows. Dalgety Rangers, top of the league, and what a team they're putting out today. I mean, they can afford to put Vieira on the bench, and it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone all in with the squad selection, hasn't he? There's no
Yes.
concepts here. Well, maybe just the highest rated players, if that's a concept. But yeah, I mean, fair play. If it's a free hit, then you take whoever you want and whoever you can get in there. And it's a strong formation. I'm not sure about the super long lines on Robin and Nagahawa, but I'm not going to argue with top of the table. So yeah, everyone loves the center partings.
Now I'm
Indeed.
thinking,
I mean,
yeah,
every single, how old was I in 1990? 16, 17, 18, 19. All the boys in my school had that short hair, short on this, like the curtains hanging over this kind of short sides, sort of like early Beckham kind of look. Yeah, oh, very good, very good.
I think, and I might be wrong, but I think at the end of last season when Tyneside were Los Urracas and they were playing Dalgety Rangers on the very last day of the season, Dalgety needed to win Division 2, and they were 2-1 up until injury time, I think, and then did Tyneside get an equaliser and cost Dalgety the title? I'm trying to think, was it that way around, or were they playing Blues and Blues got an equaliser that won them the title? It's either way around. Tyneside were involved in the very last second of the last match of last season.
Mm, mm.
So it's going to be an interesting one. See if they can be influential in the title battle this time round, and to get themselves into some kind of safety. Yeah, are you thinking it's a Dalgety victory?
I mean, it could be a draw. I mean, we've seen Alan Shearer already once this evening. We might see him in action again,
Another hat
in
trick.
the in amongst the goal scorers anyway. So could be a draw. Maybe could be a draw. I'm gonna risk it a little bit and say that Kieran Dyer is gonna play a blinder. Shearer's gonna get a goal, and then it'll be a 1-1 draw.
A 1-1 draw. Brilliant. What do you think about clone players in this league?
I don't really have an opinion on it. I don't think. I mean, it's a little bit confusing when you look at the top scorer charts and all that. But apart
See
from
the
that,
same
I
players.
don't really mind.
It's a penalty.
Oh, a penalty.
Viduka has scored. Viduka scores for his second
Oh,
team today. And what a
I
start
guess you're lucky
that
not to get a man
is.
sent off there, I guess.
Suppose, yeah, you give away a penalty, not even a yellow. And
Often go hand in hand, though, those, don't they?
yeah, it's 33 minutes in, and the team second bottom beating the league leaders, and Kieran Dyer scores his first goal.
He is
You
playing a
called him to have a
blinder.
good game, and there he is, 4-0 Tyneside. Dan, you're not far out at the
Well,
moment. Shearer's just missed the target, and we head towards half time. Oh, the opposition have hit the post there.
oh,
Dalgety coming close to an opening, and then a third, almost a third for Tyneside. Well, I mean, you said that this could be a bit of a surprise, but you were sticking your neck out on a draw, and there we are, 2-0, and they look the dominant team.
yeah. The question is if they can keep it up with that kind of. We've got an actual spam bot in the chat. Brilliant.
Yes, good old Vordo Ong. Excellent from Bok Mgsak.
Oh
Lovely.
gosh, gosh. I need some more. This is too generic. I need some Bitcoin links.
We always get these
No, I
six
think
threes.
if they can keep up the pressure and if fitness doesn't become too much of an issue for them in the second half, I think Tyneside can hang on to this one. It'll be interesting to see if the manager checks the fitness now and does anything at this point, or if he's waiting to the hour because I mean
Yeah, I think
consolidating
probably,
this could
probably
be
wait.
very very important. Dalgety getting a quick goal in the second half could really throw a spanner in the works. And I noticed Coloccini was on a 5 for most of the first half.
Picked himself up to a 6 towards the end. Horrible result for Chris. Yeah, if this happens, it'll put Tyneside clear of them. Well, 3 points clear. And it could turn around. There's so many times that he's led. And it's ended as draw or a defeat. He's not wrong. Dalgety were making no subs at half time because they're all on 6s and above. So that is pretty straightforward. Dan, any subs? And what minute would you like your subs to be in the second half? Be a question there. The Jers, they make their subs at 60 minutes and they will take off anyone who's at 6s, although they don't tend to take off centre backs necessarily. But that's their plan.
Hmm.
5's at half
Dyer still
time.
at 92% fitness. That's impressive considering his efforts in the first
Motoring.
half.
Has he
But
been making
yeah.
some dribbles and some runs? He made one dribble and 3 interceptions, so he's been doing more defensive work, but he has got himself a goal.
Mhm.
Just waiting on Dan, and then we can get the second half started. I mean, I'm just delighted to see Boomsong there on the bench going for it this time, and yeah, Shaka Hislop, the as probably we might have heard before, the second match I ever want to went to see, York City versus Reading. He was in goal for Reading that day, and York won.
Oh,
It's probably the last time they won a match. 1994.
don't think I've ever seen Shaka Hislop play live. Not sure if Dan's going to do anything.
No, I'm gonna push it on to 60 minutes at this rate. Then, yeah, as long as I'm winning, I will keep this going. So we'll go to 60 and see if he wants to continue at that point. The chances, they've nearly made it 3.
Solano had a chance earlier. But here comes
down the other end for Newcastle. For Tyneside, the subs are on their way. Can they make it? Well, Nikiforenko has, I think, taken a yellow card. You've got Nicky Butt on a 6, which is pretty rare, and there we are with the fitness. They're all doing okay.
Fitness is decent.
Yeah, no concerns. So Dan, just let us know what you want to do. Yeah. And
was that where they were called in one of those Pro Evolution games or something? Were they actually called Tyneside?
They might
Newcastle
have been called that. I think
I can't
they
remember.
was certainly. Yeah, Tyneside is probably their name at that point. I can't think of what else it was. He's saying Shaka Low as well. Yeah, that'll make a bit more sense. So Emerson's on 81 and on a 6, so it's perfect that he would come off at this point, and he'll come off for Patrick Vieira in the middle of midfield. Kivu, there's Zanetti on that. They have a right back replacement, so they will take Zauri as the other sub and leave Kivu at centre back still on the pitch. Plough on. There we go. We'll plough on at this point. So I like it when someone is clear about what they want to do. Bear coming close to getting a goal. Tyneside still holding out. They're 2-0 up. And it is 2-1. Robin. Oh, this could be. Is it going to be another comeback from the league leaders? Have they got enough? And Nikiforenko's just put one wide. They're having a lot of
5 minutes left.
Van Nistelrooy involved. Oh, Nikiforenko.
Oh, it's Nikiforenko.
And he's disallowed.
Oh, Nikiforenko.
And down the other end,
it's disallowed.
And one more chance down the other side of the pitch. Is anyone going to get a winner? I don't know. Shearer! He's done it!
Oh, Alan Shearer with the last-minute winner. My goodness. Well, we're giving the Leicester Spurs game a run for its money here with this ending. Nikiforenko won disallowed, hadn't he? And then, that was exciting.
What is Dan's reaction going to be to that? No, seeing his team drop temporarily 3-2 behind and going back for a 3-2 win. That is an incredible finish to this match. And Tyneside, I suppose, in sickening. I don't know, sickening for whom? I just realised I was delayed. That's why we were waiting around a long time for Dan. Wow. A great performance. I missed the ending. He's clicked to put it live and missed the end of his own match. Walter Samwell has had a brilliant game for Dalgety Rangers, and Robin's played particularly well. They're the standout players on the pitch. Dyer got the 8, Viduka got a 9, and a lot to take from that game, and probably quite a few of these will be able to play at the next match.
Yeah, a strong performance Tyneside there. Manager's going to be delighted, whether he missed it or not. He's going to be delighted with the result and the performance of the team, I think. Good to see that they didn't collapse. I mean, obviously, big blow to the confidence of the Dalgety players as well with that disallowed goal, which they probably thought had secured them the win, like pretty much bang on full time. But then, nice comeback from Tyneside, who didn't give up.
A brilliant finish there to that match, and the sickening thing was for Chris himself. his
Mm.
team looking like they were going to be all right, and then suddenly, uh, suddenly, they found that their nearest rivals have beaten the league leaders. Loco, Calaveras, and Roundhay can come up next on this one, and Loco, who have an extremely strong squad of South Americans, can afford to change it up again this week. But I think maybe 4 changes to the lineup is one of the fewest that they've made this season.
I mean, I quite like it. A good. I think we've beaten. I think I've played and beaten both of these teams, haven't I? I think
It
so.
wouldn't be a surprise. Yet you've beaten them 3-1, and you've beaten Roundhay
And I
2-0 in
beat
the cup.
Roundhay in
Yeah.
the cup as well, didn't I? So yeah. Okay, well, there's no shame in in losing to a decent side. So don't worry, guys. I'm sure you'll I'm sure you'll do fine. No, it's a strong side, strong players in pretty much every position. I mean, I was watching a documentary actually earlier today on Jardel and his kind of like um, strange career after being such a prolific goal machine down in Porto, and then how it all kind of fizzled out.
Drugs at Bolton
But
and such like.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, once you're once you're on that train, it's it's all downhill, isn't it? But yeah, no, an interesting player and interesting to see if they can get that to work. I mean, there's a lot of strong personalities in that squad, obviously, but yeah, enjoyable to manage a team like that, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it is a concept. It's a very strong concept, but it's still a concept on here. Captain is Simeone, so I just thought I better check that Simeone's been made captain. Um,
Mm.
let's have a look for Roundhay. Roundhay, who are they're still missing Nuno. Is he suspended or is he just been dropped? I think he's been dropped because he's been sent off twice this season. So
All right.
Lopetegui's still in goal, and a team that at the start of the season were all managers of teams.
hmm yeah. OGS obviously found himself out of favor.
Shevchenko's
I'm not
gone
sure
as
if they
well.
all have. Oh yeah, he was sacked recently as
Yeah,
well, wasn't he?
Genoa, I
8 games or
was.
something like
Yeah,
that he got down
yeah,
there.
two months.
Um,
That was it.
but I mean, managing in Italy is always a bit of a, I don't know.
Yes, yeah. It looks like Mourinho's on his way
I
soon as well,
guess.
doesn't it? So
Yeah, that's not going to. Where's Lee Boyer managing at the? I'm sure I saw him on TV
is
the
he
other day or
at
on the
is he
internet.
at Birmingham now? Because he was at Charlton. I
Yeah,
think he
quite
might
possibly
be
indeed.
Birmingham manager,
Yeah,
which means that he
yeah.
got 6 past him yesterday. But obviously, the way Fulham are playing, 19 goals in 3
Yeah,
games.
I was gonna say they just score 6 goals every game because why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I don't remember much from that 2-0 victory against Roundhay. It was in the cup as well, I think, so they could have played different players. A standard champ formation. Okay, fair enough. It's something I didn't expect to see, but I guess he's got the players that really fit those positions. I mean, maybe apart from Solskjaer, but
Yeah, his season's been okay. He has spent more of it in midfield than anywhere else. And it's nice to see Sean Dyche getting a run out now. He's playing all sixes, but it's due to the long term injury to Hollaback,
and
um,
Hollaback.
who also wasn't playing tremendously well, but was still on a better run of form than he was.
Yeah. Maybe a
Yeah,
tricky position that standard fullback, can it?
yes, it can be, but it's all I knew until a little while ago when I've had to adjust to 2 at the back in the Super League. It's a completely different game doing that. Do you see Calaveras being too strong?
I mean, they've got some like spectacular firepower around here, but they're also a little bit soft in terms of quality at the back. I mean, Mike
Yes.
Duff, yes, fair enough, but Sean Dyche, the keeper. I mean, I really like a lot of the players in that side. They're kind of my generation or players that I sort of watched a lot growing up. So I do like a lot of the Roundhay players, but uh, I'm not sure if they're going to be strong enough at the back to keep Loco from scoring. So I'm probably going to say the home team are going to sneak this one.
The home team. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably agree. As much as we are fans of Jim for being on the streams and being commentator in some of the rounds as well. Loz has done one round of games. Ronaldinho scores the opening goal for Loco.
Ronaldinho.
Yeah, it's going well for Loco. They're trying to keep themselves up in this battle. If they can get a victory and close things up towards the leaders, that's going to be superb for them. But can they just take it to the opponents a little bit more? Ronaldinho's not been having the best season for Loco. He's been doing okay. Kevin Phillips, a new manager of South Shields. That's absolutely right. Yeah, I saw that in the news the other day. Wondered why he moved up north.
What was Steve Harmison doing over there? Was that South Shields as well? Or was that Brit? I can't. It's in this area. It's over in that area as well. I'm sure Steve Harmison was involved either as a manager or owning a club or something crazy. Someone's gonna have to Google that. I'm sure it was hilarious in his incompetence. But either way,
Steve Harmison. That's an interesting one there to have a look at. 9 games, 9 shots, 4 on target. They are winning this game, and they probably do deserve to be winning at this point. I'm just having a little look at the news there. Talk me through your summary of Loco Calaveras in the first half.
yeah, I mean, I think a very solid performance from them. They didn't let Roundtake have too many chances, and they took their own. Obviously, Ronaldinho, as you mentioned there, not had the best of season, but he's can be a tricky customer. Yeah, it's not easy to get a good result out of him. Yepes was sitting on a 5 for ages, but ended up, I think, on a 7 for half time.
Yeah, he's been having a great season, to be honest. It said he was manager of Ashington, and it looks like for 2.5
Ashington,
years.
It is up in that area, isn't it?
Yes, it is up there. It's in Northumberland. I did have to check about whereabouts it was, but yeah, Northumberland. It's been going well for this team, but Arce and Veron looking slightly weaker than the others. They have specific subs plans for 60 minutes. Jim, if he's not here, which I don't think he can be tonight, that's 60 minutes for them as well. So no first half subs. Although Luis Enrique's down on 82. So we'll just check to see if there's anything to do with anything there. Vieira's an absolute standout there.
Yeah, 9 at half time. That's impressive. I think down to all the tackles that he's had and a decent passing game as well. He is the captain. He is someone who should be getting 9s every single game, really, but it doesn't always work out like that. But he's had a good first half, but he needs the players around him to step it up a little bit as well and deliver.
Done.
And get something done, indeed.
Let's go to 60 minutes with both teams. Despite the fact that Luis Enrique has taken a little bit of a knock, we will go to the hour mark. Shevchenko coming close for Roundhay, and they are really taking it to the opponents at the moment. Shevchenko again involved. Ryan's here. Good evening, Ryan. We've saved your game till you were here, so we'll put you on next, Ryan. Actually, because I know Alf doesn't always want to stay up too late, so we'll do that. Yeah. Oh, I've gone past 60 minutes here. Many apologies to the managers. It's amazing to hear Martin. Yes, he does. He is still got a voice, and he's still doing a great job.
Amazingly so. Amazingly so. I can't remember the last time I did any kind of commentary. Super League, maybe some time ago. Either way.
Maybe so. I kind of saw it at 62 minutes and couldn't click. Because I was aiming at the wrong part of the screen. So, yeah, apologies to both managers. We will. Have you missed your game? Obviously, you're just slightly behind on there. So, no, you have not missed your game at all. It's Loco first of all, and this is Palermo for Jardel. So that will happen there.
People need to really refresh their stream because Campino. Ashington, I think Martin.
A long way behind.
I think we established that some time ago.
Yeah, because he said great win Dan when we were talking about the next match, and I think he is not watching live. Yeah, he's not watching live. Yeah. Denelson for Veron, and that makes sense actually. Veron hadn't been playing too well, so 2 subs for them, and over to Roundhay, and it is the usual 60-minute plans for Jim. He says poor performance or potential injuries. Please and thank you. He's got good manners. So I don't think there's any hugely poor performances. Nope. So we'll take off the 2 who are in the 70s. Luis Enrique from the right hand side of the midfield 3. Lee Bowyer will come on, and Shevchenko will be replaced by Simone Inzaghi. Your
Very
easy
organised.
win. Easy win.
Ashington, the birthplace of Jackie and Bobby Charlton, says Alf. And Steve Harmis. Steve Harmison's born there. I think that's why he bought or he got involved with the club, or
Oh well,
I don't
look
know,
at that.
someone owed him a favour or something like that.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. It's yeah, born in Washington in 1978. There he is. Will we have a second goal in this game? I
I
don't
mean, they
know.
are trying.
Yeah,
Like,
their teams are going for it, but they're not going to be all substitute scoring like in that other match today.
doesn't look like it. 5 minutes left though. Roundhay could still sneak in and get one, but gonna have to sort out the finishing, I think.
Oh, it's
Oh,
2-0.
it's
It's 2-0.
Danielson who seals it
Danielson's
instead.
making it. I, for a second, I thought, was that an equaliser? But no, the complete opposite there. We'll put a question to Ryan. Earlier tonight, we had a match where it was 2-2, and all the goals were scored by the substitutes. 2 subs for each team, and they all scored. Has it happened in Super League before? That will be the question there for Ryan, and he'll pass it on to Swan. And that's what we'll find out, I'm sure. Very close in terms of the shots, but certainly not in terms of the scoreline.
No, very even match there in terms of chances. Roundhay definitely had the better of the second half, especially after the substitutes on the hour or on the 65 minutes or whatever it was. But I think Caballero's just sitting back, soaking up the pressure. We spoke briefly about Yepes at halftime as well. I mean, he's on a 9. You said he'd been having a brilliant season for them and continue to do so with
Yes,
a
indeed.
bunch of key headers and some key tackles in there as well. Really dominant performance from him, and not too bad by Walter Samuel either. So yeah, I mean, deserved victory. I think when you look at it,
Oh,
maybe
not
a little
bad
bit generous
performance.
that they get a 2-goal sort of a two goal victory, but yeah,
Yeah,
they started a bit too late
Sean
Roundhay,
Dyche.
I think.
Sean Dyche plays an 8.
And Mike Duff gets a 6. Well,
The wrong way around. Vieira 10 out of 10 tackles and 7 out of 12 headers. He's probably made some interceptions. He made 3 key passes as well and 6 interceptions.
6 interceptions.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
very solid performance from him. And yeah, but like he said earlier on this game, he needs other people around him to start working. How did you get Danielson to play well? It's a question there, isn't it? He's
Well, he
been,
didn't play particularly well, did he? He had 5 passes and a shot, and he scored. So he does often come. You can often get him if you have him on set pieces. He can often get like a bunch of assists or something if you force him to take set pieces, and that kind of boosts his average a little bit if you're interested in that. But I've never really had him play very well. I do believe I've seen him play in real life though. Was he at Betis?
He was, yes. That was when he
Yeah,
went
I've seen
for the
him
world
play.
record transfer fee, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure I saw him play when they were playing FC Copenhagen away in the UEFA Cup in like the mid to late 90s.
Yeah, I think he moved there in either 97 or 98, sometime around then. That he went 21 million or something, I think it was, for a world record transfer fee at the time. And then what happened? Yeah, it didn't quite work the same. We're going to go over to that game then, Team GB versus North Trafford, and Alf playing the formation. I'm not sure whether I've seen it before, but all the same, something that it looks a bit like some kind of cup or glass, at least.
True. It could be. I don't know the English words for these kind of things, but yeah, one of those glass with a sort of very short stem and then like a big bowl on top of it, sort of like 70s style glass. But,
I know what you
but
mean.
yeah, indeed.
And some, obviously, plenty of attacking players on there. A team that this match features 2 Scottish players, a Welshman, and then a whole load of English. And it's been working much better for Alf recently. A brandy glass, says Mike Savage.
Well, I'm pleased to be in the company of educated people.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be interesting with that massive open space.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, again, theories about the most important positions. I'm sure Smuts and others will be more than happy to have an opinion on this as well. Whether the DMC is the most important, should you pay a single MC or two MCs, and what should they be doing? Can you overload the AMC positions and all this? And Alpha's just gone, nope, I'm not doing that. And
Go for that.
two DMCs and those kind of wide midfielders, which usually aren't the most popular positions either. But I've had a lot of success when I think it was doing a Manchester United save or something, and those positions with those two particular players played exceptionally well in those roles. So who knows? Maybe, and they do have home advantage. So it could be a result for Team GB here.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's been toe to toe with Ryan many times in the past in Super League as well. Mike saying it's the first time he's ever been called educated, and Alf also saying a brandy glass. And Big Kid, good evening. We've saved your game because you said you might not be on early, so we saved your game. It'll be on after this one. North Trafford, who obviously big news there of Ryan 2-star. There he is. It is 2 Super League victories, of course. He's dropped Magna Hosert, who has been their absolute key player for his first game in charge. He goes, nope, he's not in the 18. 3 10s in his last 5 games.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those. Did he end up playing in Denmark at some point? I can't really remember. Him and Daniel Bratton and people like that.
Bratton was fast.
It's a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit like the old Super Greeks and the Belarusians and stuff like that. The Norwegians had like a kind of a completely unjustified overrating of the players in in this version of Championship Manager, and Hoset is another one. I mean, none of these players are any good in real life. Maybe Ronnie at the back there, Jonsson and Henningberg, not terrible either, but. Not exactly world beaters, are they, all of them? So, but and Hoset definitely not. But I mean, if he plays well, he plays well. You need to pick him. So, so I'm surprised that he's missing. I'm surprised about the amount of arrows. But yeah, maybe it'll work out for Ryan. I don't think he would. I don't think he would have tried something quite so inventive in the Super League.
No, he's got 11, 12 matches to experiment with his team, hasn't he? On this one to see just what sort of things he can do. Now I'm sure Daniel Bratton, he went to Bolton, I think, didn't he? So mentioning his name.
Well, Ryan should know,
sort of
being
that's what I'm thinking.
A Bolton aficionado.
Yeah, I'm sure he played for Bolton at some point. I might be wrong, but I'm sure he did. Spent tomorrow thinking of a suitable punishment. Now, I mean, Big Kid's saying that about his children, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure he might be saying about his team if Trumpton don't come out big victors tonight.
Yeah. Could be.
This is going to be an interesting one. Who's going to take it?
Oh, I'm gonna have to. I mean, based on my own experience of coming straight into the league and start picking up wins, I'm gonna say that Ryan's gonna take maybe a 2-1 victory in this one, despite the fact that the Team GB on paper I would say is a stronger side. I think the new manager impact is gonna be what swings it in North Trafford's favour.
Well, we shall see. It's going to be an interesting one as Shearer comes close to scoring straight away for Team GB.
How many times have we seen Alan Shearer in action tonight?
I know he's scored 4 goals tonight. He's played for 4 teams, I think, maybe 3 or 4 teams. Might just be 3 actually.
I think I would prefer it if they were consolidated in the top scorer chart, so you didn't get like the individual Alan Shearers. You just got you just got the total number of goals scored by Alan Shearer of various clubs.
I'm sure we can put something together of that at some point. But yeah, it's looking tight. This game hasn't had too many clear-cut chances since early on. Muklen's just missed a chance with a free kick and appeal for a penalty turned down. And then coming forward again, Team G before half-time. Smith doing well. He's taken on a few. And he's still going with the ball. And it's been dealt with eventually down the other end. They come close. Flo with a chance. And Berg as well. Ooh. Douglas making some stops. And at half-time, we are going in even. Well, I don't know what's happened to Henning Berg, but it's been a strange first half in terms of ratings. And Team
Yeah,
GB
looking at the
hitting the
average ratings of those
targets.
players, that was not very good.
Yeah, not too enjoyable for both teams. We've got to Alf first because Alf, in terms of substitutes, probably does take a little bit longer, but they're all in the 90%. So you've got 4 players on 6s, so it's up to you, Alf, what you'd like to do. Just a quick word there. Owen, Gerrard, Beckham, Campbell on your 6s, and Rio Ferdinand on a yellow. Ryan, will you be making any changes? And please nominate both managers. Tell me what minute you want in the second half for subs. And if you don't want to make subs in the second half, just say no second half subs, and that'll be dead easy. Yeah, Berg, no tackles put in, but he hasn't had to.
Yeah, no change for Alf at the moment. Surprised we didn't see Big John Carew, Aliu or something. He changed his name, didn't he? Or he had like he started using his family name or something like that. I'm sure he went by that for a period. I
Yeah,
can't remember if
I
that was
spoke
pre or
to
post Villa.
I spoke to Dudgy about it, and he said he was never really referred to as Aliu um, within most things in football, so he was happy to drop the Aliu from the name. But
Mm,
yeah, it's an interesting one there. I mean, yeah, he has. Yeah, no change. If they're all over 80s, all blur in your phone. 86 is where we are, so no change. I'll go to 60 minutes with both managers here, just to yeah, Alf said 60, so we'll go to
mhm.
60 and see what comes on. Mikulin's come close to scoring again. Tato's here. Good evening, Tato. They're arranging a social, as you do. It's all good. I do like it when people there. Shearer scored the opening
Oh,
goal.
there is Alan
He
Shearer
scores
again.
again. uh,
Unstoppable.
yeah, Michael Owen on a 6, and you've got Smith on 86. Just a reminder to both managers. You have a match in 3 league days' time, so yeah, you'll just be aware about that for conditions if you want to keep these players going. Another look at ratings there for Alf. Owen on 6, Shearer on 8, dead easy. Over at the
He's
other
got to do a
side,
Fallow and swap, hasn't he, really, on that one?
yeah, I
Like a
think it's
Liverpool
something to
style swap.
go for it. Yeah, Backers on 78. Um, And then we've got a whole load of 6s. I think it is probably Carew time, isn't it? Everyone else is in the 80s. Fowler for Smith comes on for Team
Hmm.
GB. So I will do that and press OK there while we wait on the Norse things. Um, Carew's tattoo. What? Oh, so he's got the wrong. He's got a poorly placed circumflex. Wonderful. He's yeah. The accent has completely changed what the meaning of that is. Got to enjoy those kind of facts.
Yeah, I mean it'll fade with time probably, and I mean it's something the circumflex is probably something that you can cover or amend quite easily. I'm not even sure if it's still a thing, but indeed, kind of funny, kind of funny,
I like 2 late
and
goals
quite
in.
innocuous, and kind of considering the outrage of who is it? Is it Raheem Sterling who had like a machine gun tattooed on his
Oh
leg or
yes, on his
something like that?
leg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we getting this Carew run out? Do we think?
I don't know. Ryan said he might get a run out at 60, but maybe he's gone to the bar for drinks or something like that because I don't think he's.
Bring
Oh yeah,
Carew
he says
on.
bring Carew on. Right,
4?
okay. It's got to be for flow, hasn't it?
Yeah, back on 78 still. That's the one thing we got there. Bring Carew on. I, I, I think we'll probably do Flo.
It has to be for Tora Andre. We can't.
Yeah, I think Solskjaer will probably stay. He's not going to make the backwards runs, is he? So,
No, no, no.
of course, tactical changes are absolutely fine within the old Swemp as it is. Flo, there we are. Nice. You were
Yeah,
correct all along. And are we ready to go here, do you think?
I think so. Otherwise we
Sorry,
can
I
stop
can't
it
see
again.
stats. That's right, Ryan. Yeah, I mean, Solskjaer hasn't had a shot, but he's playing backwards quite a bit. And Yeah, flow hasn't been particularly impressive. Going off Martin's tone, there we are. We'll go to the end of the game now. Your tone was definitely suggesting that flow was to go off at
Going
this
to
point.
off my tone, Ryan's not making any more substitutions.
And I was going off your tone for why it was flow over Solskjaer, I think. But
No, well, I mean,
I think it was the right decision to make. And a chance maybe. No, Nosk didn't make anything of any free kick that came along. But Sol
back
took a
in
booking.
nearly with
It
the
was
equaliser
close,
there.
yeah. Very close down the other end again. Team GB coming forward. Last minutes. Oh, it was dealt with.
Big John was up there.
He was up there. 1-0. Henningberg with a terrible match for his standards, but I'm not quite sure what had gone on there. Trond Anderson dropping to a 5. He was the one with a big backwards arrow defensively. Shearer man of the match again. That is twice tonight that he's a man of the match. Gerrard's done well. Ferdinand, and 1 shot on target out of 7.
Yeah.
They need Magne Hosert back in that team, I would say. Very poor.
Yeah, I mean,
not an interesting game.
a bit of a poor game overall, but I mean, deserved 3 points for Alf here, and playing that kind of defensive block of those 5 players paid off for him. So yeah, picking up the 3 points and happy with that, I'm sure.
Sorry, Norse fan, says Ryan. Alf saying, have a brandy. Oh, lovely. We've got 2 games to go. We go to the Trumpton Steelhawks match now. Big kids here. David isn't, but he was here. He was. We did see him turn up very briefly, so he might be here to make his subs. But otherwise, I've got massive sets of instructions. Trumpton for today. Mr. Tactical Variant himself has gone for this formation, which is quite full of arrows.
Yeah, if I hadn't been paying attention to the Swemp League in the past, then I would have been quite surprised. But somehow I'm not. Yeah, it's difficult to provide any kind of meaningful analysis to it. Obviously, moving players around in certain positions where he thinks they'll perform very well, and I mean, judging by the form so far, it's not been terrible.
No, top few in the league as usual for a Trumpton side. Zidane being the one who's been utilised in many different positions this season. That's probably why his rating is as it is. But actually, to be honest, it's not even a bad rating for a Zidane, to be honest. Tato thinks it's joyful. Which certainly is bringing some joy to us for tonight. Ariano out there on the right hand side. He's been playing well in the few chances he's had, so it's good to see that he's getting the opportunities. David is here, which is great. Hello, Mr. Quaster, and yep, we've got Oyan Berg, who needs some more opportunities. Keane and Zidane doing a headbutt charge at each other on the centre spot. Yeah, I mean, well, surely we should have Materazzi on the other side of that one. It's interesting.
Would have been appropriate.
It is interesting, definitely.
And difficult to know. I mean, it's difficult to know for the opponents. Like, what do you do? I mean,
you can't plan to play.
I try to plan, because some of the teams that I played, some of the first teams I played, I went in and see. Some people always use, not always, but often use the same formation for their home games, and the same for you can kind of guess-ish how people are going to line up. But Trumpton, not so. Oh, there's a few arrows in this one as well.
Yeah, some different ones, and opportunities this time. Utilising the wings a bit less. I know there are 4 players out wide, but the plan of taking it through the attacking midfields a little bit more. It's going to be interesting, especially that Mendieta run going forward. Dyer going forward as well. Will it leave them exposed? I don't know. Don't know at all.
Yeah. I mean, quite possibly. They've got some trash players in there as well, so that's probably going to be my main concern. Is probably like the Jafars of this world, Barsam, and then these guys.
1 for bravery is lovely there, isn't it? Barsam, he's been doing all right. I mean, no goals in 13 games for someone who does play in forward roles. He doesn't do forward roles, I don't think. But and Murat with his 6 goals this season, he's doing a fairly good job there.
Yeah,
And
not too bad. Not too bad, to be
Big
honest.
Kid, this isn't what I expected from Hawks. So, and I'm pretty sure David would be thinking, well, I didn't expect that formation per se, but I did expect something strange from Trumpton. Yeah, two
Mm.
interesting formations up against each other. Björn Hansen refereeing again tonight. And do you see a winner?
I mean, I'm I'm still surprised at how effective those multiple arrow formations can be, but I think they're gonna take this one. They do have Steelhawks, do have Oliver Kahn in goal, so you can always, if you're playing against Oliver Kahn, you always have that kind of little kind of nagging feeling at the back of your mind. Is it going to be tonight that he's going to just save everything and be impossible to get past? But I still think Trumpton's going to have too much for the Steelhawks tonight.
And they should take it, in your opinion. Remember, both managers at half-time nominate your minute for your second half subs, please. While it's new, I just keep reminding everyone at that point. Yeah, we've got 15 minutes of almost nothing happening. Then, chances for Trumpton. I didn't see who it was who had the actual shot there in the end, but they took it forward and give it a go. Petkov involves Zidane. Penza as well, but Oliver Kahn is dealing with things so far. So, and Jafar has
Oh,
scored.
and it's Jafar, the trash player Jafar with the opener.
You had to mention his name in there, and he's but Petkov, legend. Milan Petkov scoring for 1-1 there. Stam's taken a yellow card. Jafar's had another chance, and he's certainly trying to prove a point here against the co-commentator. But just before half time, will there be a third goal? No, might be some more fouls. No, it's half time. 1-1. It looks even from this point of view, and it's very even.
Yeah, it's very even, entertaining first half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously putting all those arrows on gives. I was going to say it gives the players some freedom. Maybe it gives the opponent some freedom to run into a bunch of spaces. So yeah, quite enjoyable, to be honest. And I'm sure that the Steelhawks manager will be hoping that his guys can hang on to this one, because they've made a good fist of it in the first half, and yeah, they got the opener Jafar, and I mean, they're in with a shout, aren't they? I mean,
I would say
playing
so.
playing playing pretty much equal in terms of chances.
Very, very even game so far. Roy Keane I expect to see coming off, especially with only 3 days to go until the next match. 81% at this point. I know Big Kid likes a half-time change. Nobody's playing bad. I mean, Ariano on a 6. I don't think the ball's probably been down his side of the pitch very much, to be honest, because he has been playing very well. Zidane on 89 is fit enough. He's got some interesting runs to do, hasn't he? And looking over at the Steelhawks side, they're all 88 plus. Just some performances here, as is to the 60th, he says. So it's just basically based on what Trumpton are going to do. Any standout stats? 3 offsides for Jafar, despite the fact he's playing at left wing. Yeah, I don't think there's anything. 7 dribbles in the first half from Milan Petkov.
Oh well,
We've got to enjoy that.
certainly doing his best. Certainly doing his best to impress the fans, and I think he was the one who got the goal as well, wasn't he? Yeah, he got the goal as well. So yeah, despite having a backwards arrow, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's 7 dribbles, despite the fact he's spending a lot of time in the defensive area. Has he got space to run into when you look at the opposition's formation? Maybe if these are all going
Perhaps.
forward, there is space to exploit in here, I suppose.
I'll expect more of the same from him in the second half. And I saw did you make the substitution for Keane as well? Yeah.
It's Keener for Berizzo has
come on,
been
okay.
made, so we'll go to 60 minutes. Unless Big Kid says
Oh,
anything
there
else.
was Petkov.
He scored. Oh, he scored. What man about? He scored. I've just looked at it. Thought it was 1-0. I've made how many errors have I made tonight? I'm quite quite happy to make these. To be honest, it's entertaining myself for being that bad, I suppose. 60 minutes, here we are, 61-62, it's kicking on, but we have made the change. And Steelhawks with 3 yellow cards. Condition wise, looking at that, we've got an 85 for Kaladza, 83 for Dyer, who is carrying a knee injury. I don't know if Collins is... Yeah, he's got a potential knee injury as well. Mendieta with no injuries. I just always click on these for people's own viewing pleasure. And Jaffa is not injured. So a couple of knee jerks. Will there be a reaction?
Yeah, I mean, as mentioned previously in the show when we spoke about it, I mean, I'm not one for trusting these potential injuries, so I normally just like force people to run it off. But with the 3 games coming up, there might be some changes here. I can see we've got Joe Cole coming on for Jafar and Shearer. Oh dear, here we go. Well, he's bound to score, isn't he? His
Another
sixth
Shearer.
of the evening or whatever we're up to.
Trumpton all at 7s in the first team there. Baritzo's just come on, so he doesn't really count for that. Zidane 83, the least fit player there, and everyone seems to be vaguely fit there, so that's not going so badly at all. I expect to see a change, and I'm not sure who it's going to be. Crespo, or will it be Penza off and Seedorf on with Parler up front? I'm not quite sure, but we're going to get something. We're going to get something.
Could be anything. Could be anything really. Could be putting a straight swap for, I don't know, Seedorf in for Zidane, or maybe Crespo up and remove the arrow, or I don't know what he's gonna suggest. You never know. When it starts off so inventive, then it's difficult to predict further inventions on the on the already very inventive formation.
Yes, it's.
Oh, it was. Oh, and I actually
is,
called it
yes.
Crespo and off with the arrow. My goodness.
Zidane off
Well,
for
it makes
Crespo
sense if you're going for the win,
take
doesn't it?
arrow off. There we are. Lovely. Take that, and I suppose usually the word please ends the subs. If he does send something in the next 10 seconds and we have kicked off, then I'm happy to just switch it if we need to. And it's still 1-1. I'm not going to claim there's been another goal, but there has been another goal now. Joe Cole scoring. Let's get ourselves back onto the player ratings again. We've got 20 minutes left on this one. Steelhawks are leading the way. Palacios, it's been disallowed. They could have had a third. Ariano swapping with Berg. It did come quite late, the substitute, which is, I'll do it now. But Ariano swap with Berg. I am happy to do this. Big Kid will be thinking I've not wanted to do something here. But yeah, it was quite late on after we took the subs, wasn't it?
So
I'm happy to do
this.
So for 12 minutes to go, I'm happy to keep going with it. He might say cancel it, but no, I am on it now. I'm happy to do it. Will there be another one? It's got a comma suggesting that we've got something else going on.
Oh. Well, it can be obviously if people are typing on their phones or something like that. All good, thanks. Right,
just switch it to. There we are. Right.
Well, 12 minutes left. Could still get an equaliser, perhaps even in a winner. That's another inspired substitution there. Joe Cole coming on and getting that goal.
Yeah, the subs have been
Shearer going close as well.
Tonight. And will we get anything in this? Let's go at Petkov taking a yellow card. And a final whistle, 2-1. Oliver Kahn was difficult to get past. Man of the match. And Steelhawks did deserve the victory based on the shot count. Only 1 shot on target for the second half for Trumpton compared to 6 of their opponents. And Klomper did his best in defence to deal with things. Penza looked vaguely alert up front, but the ratings are alright, but the performance just wasn't quite there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, perhaps a little bit generous to give Oliver Kahn that man of the match award, considering there was 4 shots and 1 went in. I think actually Marcos has a better shot to save ratio than Oliver Kahn. But either way, decent enough display from Trumpton. Not really cynical enough and allowing Steelhawks far too many chances. I think that's the risk you run with a formation like that. If it works, then I am in awe of people who have the imagination to do it. And then if it doesn't work, it's easy for me to sit and be smart and say, well, if you'd stuck to what you know, then perhaps you would have picked up 3 points against the Steelhawks. But it's not a bad side. They have many good players. Oliver Kahn had a great game and obviously good substitution there to put Joe Cole on, and he got the goal after Jafar had gotten it from the same position in the first half.
Yeah, and think those Stam and Ferdinand with so many one tackles playing very very well. Only sevens. So have they made any fouls? They've
Hmm.
only made one foul apiece. Maybe the yellow card has just tarnished their performance a little bit, because otherwise it was a very very solid performance and no goals from Shearer.
That's a surprise, but he made up for it earlier this evening.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, 4 goals from him so far. Into that final game of the night, the Old Age Ballers, with a terrible name, a terrible name, and the fact that old is considered to be age 31 and above.
Yeah, I think maybe, it's one of those concepts that you dream up in when you start one of your old saves. I think it was only really Flo, our resident Frenchman, who's managed to do it successfully, and
With over
only signing players that were
34s,
like
yes.
33 or 34 or older. But it's something that I've sometimes sat down and go, oh, I'm only going to sign players that are X years old. And then you look at it and you're going to go, nah, I'm going to have to get someone younger in.
And I did do a season, the Mega Horse Juniors and Mega Horse Seniors, trying to pick the very, very youngest players on the game through the data editor and everything. I think the oldest player in the squad at Mega Horse Juniors was 16, but most of them were 14 and 15. There was a 12-year-old David Carlson, and then the Mega Horse Seniors, I think I managed to get the youngest player to be about 39, and they went up as high as 64 for Antonio Fortes in there. So,
Well,
and
it's
but it failed by October of the second season. After by that point I had had 77 retirements, including Neville Southall retiring the day he signed for the club.
well, it was worth a try,
It
I
was, and I
guess.
will do it again. I will do it again. Davos Shuka has come to my attention from your recent endeavours in the world of home saves.
Yes, indeed. I mean, I was surprised myself, but I had it's the kind of journeyman attempt, and I was thinking I'm not going to sign someone super good because the Croatian League you walk it anyway, but just in case we need a backup striker. So I was like, oh, he's available on free. We'll try him. And I've never used him or owned him before. And it's like 40 goals a season, the first 2 seasons. Then I obviously chucked the save and all this, but but it was fun while it lasted. And it came in very handy now that Batistuta is not playing due to the unreasonable suspension rules related to yellow cards in this league.
3 yellow cards and getting it. Well, there is. I think it's in. Is it Norway or Sweden, where after a while it's the next yellow card you get is a suspension. I think you get one after 5, one after 7, and it becomes 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
So a yellow card gets you a 1 match ban, and that's
Yeah,
quite
well,
hard to
that's
take there. Effenberg out of the team,
indeed.
I noticed. But did you change anything in your set piece take? Because I I don't know if I checked your
No,
your
no, no.
yeah,
I didn't. I don't. I can't remember if I had a.
I think you
Maybe
just
I
had
had a
Effenberg below
different
the set
preference.
piece.
I can't
I will
remember, but
check that
it's not.
because I mean you said you did send me
I,
your stuff, but I think it's the only thing I didn't look at. I'll go to your message
I
anyway.
think I was. I just remember being quite disappointed because it's only really him and Gascoigne that have 20s. The rest of them are kind of poor in terms of set pieces. But I might have set
You
someone.
did select, yeah.
Oh, did
You've
I?
got
All right.
Shuka taking free kicks on
Oh,
the side
right.
here. So
That seems
Shuka's
ambitious.
taking those.
And
Um,
the fullbacks taking the
and
corners.
Lizarazu and Cafu, yeah. That's
Yeah, I thought
right,
as
yeah.
much.
So I will make sure that that is done before the game kicks off there. Vordoong! David
Again.
Lee.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Apart from that, the
Vordoong.
only change, or the main change, is obviously Batistuta being out, Maldini
Maldini
coming
on a
back in
long time.
after his injury. So poor
Still,
Jurgen Kohler dropped, but
yes, the one player who I think that if he is in the middle of a back three can be the one that breaks that rule and performs extremely well. Imaginary Madrid, Mexey's back after a long time out. He'd been playing well as a sweeper, uh, and and obviously this formation since Chris has come in and taken over from Matt Timms, that he hasn't used a sweeper, but now is
mm,
in need of a defender after Lescott was on the bench and got sent off last game, and Richard Dunn's injured now, so he does need somebody else, and Mexey steps into to the back middle of a back three.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure he can do a solid job there. For those of you who've been following the my endeavors for a while, I did do a sweeper save I don't know, a couple of years ago or something like that. We were playing in Italy and only using sweeper formations, and it actually works remarkably well. Once you get it down and you get you know what kind of attribute you're looking for that particular player, it actually does a really solid job, both in terms of shoring up at the back, but also getting plenty of goals from that particular player, especially going forward. So. Yeah,
Yeah,
surprised that he did surprised that when you have a player that is so good as a sweeper that he didn't just pull him back in a sweeper role. I'm not sure what the benefit is of leaving him in that particular role, because you do get like a 10% or something like that, like a negative multiplier to their attributes for playing out of position. I can't remember
especially
exactly what it is.
Mexi as a centre back is a 10 centre back rather than
Mm-hmm.
a 20 for sweeper. Well,
Hmm.
Chris saying good luck. There I noticed for you
Good
on
luck
your
to Chris as well for this one.
and Mr.
I'm hoping
Square.
to continue.
Go on, carry on. Yeah, you go.
No, I was going to say I'm hoping to continue my excellent performance, at least a clean sheet, and hopefully a 1 or 2-0 win.
He's nearly back, by the way. He's nearly back. He's been having a great season. Jordi Cruyff, yet again, played well last season for Imaginary Madrid, and he's nearly back from injury. Mr. Squares just watched his game, and what a game it was. Uh, those last 5 minutes and all the sub scoring is a real highlight. And look who's refereeing
Yeah,
again,
that
Björn
was
Hansen.
yeah,
He's
busy
there.
man. Theatre of daydreams.
The theatre of daydreams. And do you imagine that your team is going to continue this run then?
I mean, I can't see us not continuing the run, to be honest. But I mean, we've done well against teams above us in the league, and now we're playing someone below us. So you never know.
We shall see. And let's kick this one off. And Cafu scores the opening goal. And that's a pretty good start for you today.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the score that I'd been expecting, but I'll take it.
No, he's certainly started well. He's playing against himself, of course, and I think that that Cafu has scored for Imaginary Madrid this season. Um, it's going still pretty well. I know that Imaginary Madrid are trying to come back at you and they're giving it a bit of a go. It's one of the hardest text combinations to see, the white and gold, and I
Yeah,
can
the
kind of
purple
get
and
it.
black isn't great on my screen either, to be
No, I
honest. So
think what I'm doing is I'm sitting as low as possible, and it's giving me a little bit better light there. Schukaku in close to scoring, and he scored now. It's
even's closer.
2-0. It's 2-0. That's it.
Yeah,
Pretty
excellent performance by
good.
him. I'm very happy with that first half.
So, yeah, I would say that's been successful. Cafu hasn't scored in the league, but he has scored in the cup for Imaginary Madrid. And if we take a look at Imaginary Madrid first, when we look at the stats, who've had one shot compared to your five, it is going the way that the text looks, and it is going your way. Chris, just to point out there, Mexe is on 87, but it's a potential foot injury, and Ashley Cole potential thigh injury, but they're still high 80s. Gareth Barry playing as Gareth Barry plays, I suppose, I imagine.
Christ, he's bad.
Mexe to sweeper with arrow up. There we are. Mexe to sweeper with arrow up. Yep, that'll be good. I imagine that's what he wants. But
Presumably not all the way.
well, that's the Quinton method. Champ
Oh,
manager
is it? All right.
97-98. He went down to 10 men at Barcelona and decided that what he'd do
Right.
is, I think he played a back four, potentially a back five, with Luis Enrique behind them with a run up to striker, and he
All right. Wow.
managed to get that to be slightly successful, and that's why I had the long Ibrahim Said arrow up to striker from defensive mid that I played for years,
Ah.
based on the Luis Enrique role there. So is it just give me that, Chris? And please let us know your minute for subs in the second half. While I just go over to the OABs quickly. I still shouldn't say that. The old age team. Will they be making their changes? Cafu, just to let you know, is on a potential foot injury there, and we'll see, are you making any halftime subs, and when would you like
No,
your
no,
second
no,
half
no.
runs?
I think we're all good to go for the second half. I have all faith in Matchday being able to up his game in the second half. Laurent Blanc on a yellow is a bit of a. Oh, actually, let's not risk it. Let's
Is this
take a
Cola?
Kohler on for Laurent Blanc. Actually, just I'm
Yes.
not really usually a belt and braces kind of manager, but that would be a silly one to risk.
I think it strengthens you bringing Cola on, to be honest. I do think it does make you a stronger side. What minute would you like your second half things, or are you not wanting any?
I'll have a look at 60.
Yeah, that's all right. And Chris has been a few hours, so we'll go to 60 minutes with him as well. And if anything does come through, I will just do it at 60 minutes now, because it's been quite a time between the two. We'll go to Imagine Rigid first at that point. A chance again. Bosfeld coming close. Desai with chances, and another one from Desai. Lizarazu with a chance as well. It's the defenders who are coming forward. And Gareth Barry still getting absolute pummeling on a 5. Yeah, I mean, Mexay's still there. So, I mean, there's no real condition worries too much Cole and Mexay on those potential injuries, but they're not don't seem to be forming into anything. Will he be taking anyone off? Will he be preserving anyone for the next game? Because at 2-0 down and not creating anything, it
I mean,
seems like he's a bit
you got
fine.
to throw a Nilco on, haven't you? I mean, that's what I would do, but then I'm not the imaginary Madrid manager. But certainly that would be my decision. I mean, I think he's always worth a punt, and certainly Alan Smith is. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily do that. Oh, he has got something here. Cole and Cafu off. Push Totti and Robin wide.
Oh yeah, Cole and Cafu off. Right, okay. Cole and Cafu off. For whom? Uh, Robin and Totti out wide, but who are they coming off for? That's
That's
the
the
mystery.
question.
Will they be going central ones, and we'll be seeing Smirtine, and or we'll be seeing? Are we going to be starting to see Fowler and Anelka coming on up front? Check and Anelka and Fowler.
Ah, and
It is Anelka and Fowler. So
oh,
mentioning in that way, I'll do it respectively. I know I won't put Anelka on the right because Fowler's left-footed, so we do it that way. Go 3 up top. Yep, and Fowler for
I see, I
Cole,
see.
and that is
And that's what he's gonna. Oh,
there.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. I see, I see. Yeah,
they
yeah,
are
yeah.
going for it, and with their 3 at the back in that formation, it's interesting. And 2
A
wide
bit of a
then.
jellyfish thing got going on in that formation, I think.
Umbrella.
That kind of dome, the dome topic.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, or an inverted. No, I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So 3 up top there, lovely. And your own team all at 7.
Oh, I'm not.
Desi was
I'm
6, but
fine. We're absolutely
you're
fantastic.
fine.
No
Not
changes.
preserving anyone for your next match.
No, no, no. They'll just have to suffer. No.
They'll just have to suffer. Luis Enrique causes more suffering to the imaginary Madrid players and, of course, to the management. They are very, very light further back up the pitch. That doesn't make sense. Further back on the pitch, 3-0 it is. Can it be 4?
Yeah, I think they're going to struggle to get the players up to it with that 4 line of defensive midfielders. I thought they were going to struggle to get the ball up there, and they
they
did.
did,
So
yeah. 1 shot to 11 in that.
this is exactly the same. This is exactly the same as the last game. Was that not 1-7 shots on target as well? I think that I had in the last game.
I could
I think
give
so.
you a bit of a check on that. Clearly a boat with the sail furled. um, Lovely formation talk there. With brandy glasses and boats with sails furled. Tato says it was dominant. And yeah, Cafu. He's got a 10. What special sort of stuff has he done? I think it's a generous 10 compared to Ince's 9. But he
Yeah, but I
has
mean,
got a
2 assists
goal.
and a goal. Does that
Yeah,
say
actually
43 for
assists.
fitness?
Oh, it does. It does say
Mm.
43 for fitness. And
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
potentially fit, so you
Well.
won't be seeing him in the next match, I imagine.
It's his powers of recovery are spectacular, so don't be surprised.
It's like the cloud watching thing. Look at these. Yeah, what's the cloud? Relegation form suggested there, especially with Tyneside's win early on. The table, we'll go straight into the table because obviously you can start to see things down the side. Dalgety Rangers have a 4-point cushion, so their defeat wasn't too punishing, but Steelhawks are up to second, just ahead of Really by a goal. Loco Calaveras and Team GB and Trumpton and North Trafford and Aston's Ajax, those 5 teams separated by 2 points, but a bit of a turnaround in Loco being top of that section now, because I don't think they were 4th before the game. In fact,
I don't think so either.
they've come up 2
Well, they
places
jumped
with that
2.
round.
Yeah.
Team GB up 3. Trumpton, it's been a bit of a slide recently.
Oh,
down
that's
2
a
in this
steady
game.
decline there.
Ryan's North Trafford side, for the first time he's in charge, down 2. And Aston, well, they've gone down 1 place this game, but they did well to get that draw. Roundhay, a 4-point gap to Aston's Ajax, but look at that bit now. Roundhay, Falaraki and Old Age Boys, 1 point between them. It's a real battle. And Tyneside move ahead of Alanson and leave Imagine Madrid bottom of the table. It's very, very close. Check on those results again.
Yeah, I mean, good win for ourselves. I mean, I think against Imaginary Madrid, I was kind of expecting a win, and unfortunately we got it. I think the big win for Tyneside there. I think that was kind of probably the surprise, and then the Ajax result as well with that ending of the game. That was another good one.
A tremendous end to that game. You said just compared to your last match of the shots, 7-1.
Yeah, it was the
2
same.
games
11
in a
and
row.
7 for me, and 1 shot on target for the opponent. And we've got Tyneside coming up next. I think we've got a run of home games now, haven't we? So we'll see if I can. I've got a solid away formation there, obviously, but we'll see if I'm going to chance it and go a little bit more attacking at home next time out.
Well, yeah, with Tyneside coming up then, looking to those next fixtures, it's definitely key, that game, isn't it? A win would start to bring you in towards that battle ahead of you, and not to be looking down towards the bottom, especially that your team's on decent form, but Tyneside picking up some decent run as well. I mean, you two must be in the immediate form, 2 of the stronger sides in the division. Dalgety versus Falaraki is probably on your side a little bit there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Roundhay and Falaraki, obviously the 2 teams right ahead of us. Roundhay's got a difficult game coming up, but they didn't play particularly well today. They've got a tough game against Team GB, who obviously Alf have got now a solid defensive foundation there, as we saw tonight, and Falaraki probably going to struggle to get something away at Dalgety. So that could be a good night for us if we can manage to take all 3 points against the Tyneside.
Yeah, I think it's going to be extremely close heading forward into that next round next Wednesday. There will be 2 rounds next week. It'll be Wednesday definitely for the league, and it might well be a Friday late night cup round. I'm just trying to think about. I'll be able to turn the save out straight away, and then give about 36 hours for teams to come in. It's just that the cup has got to be done outside of league nights at the moment, and it's just to make sure that it doesn't take up league games when weeks are starting to slip by a little bit. So reminder of those fixtures for next time. A quick look actually first of all at the average ratings. I mean, Cafu 777 up there. He's starting to appear on this list, and Yepes, I guess he's not on the list because he hasn't played enough games, because he'd be up there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the minimum games are, but he should be up there. For Cafu, I mean, season 1 or at this point, he has to average over 8. Like, I can't see any reason why he shouldn't. So hopefully he'll manage that by the end of the season.
And there's his 5 assists as well in there. Hosett there on 4 assists. Will he be used next time? Team of the week was earlier in the week, so it doesn't count for this one. Thank you so much, Martin, for tonight.
It was a pleasure.
And I hope you still enjoy doing this for the rest of the season. That you get yourself some more victories, take your team away from that drop zone, and see what you can do to mix yourself up with Alf and the other big boys in that zone there.
That's the plan. Given my appalling record when I tried my luck in the Super League, I do feel as if I have a, I do have a bit of salvaging my reputation to do here, and it's gone well so far.
It has indeed. That's 5 unbeaten games in a row. And yeah, so thanks to you and thanks to everybody else. Vom.red indeed. And we'll see you again soon. Good night.
Good night.